It's good to be back out here on Rancho today. For quite some time we've been placing our focus on other maps, but there are quite a number of things out here that I still want to hopefully get for the Trophy Lodge, and so often when it comes to these videos, I'll kind of go into the Trophy Lodge, select a species that I feel like we can upgrade, and spend most if not all of a hunt targeting that species and trying to get a trophy. And quite honestly, the odds of actually finding, say, a bigger diamond that we have or a particular rare or something are never that good. So I want to kind of flip that concept on its head today. We're out here on Rancho, of course, and we're just going to basically hunt whatever is in front of us and hope that something good shows up. There are a lot of things out here that I'd like to get that we don't yet have. Obviously, rare rooster pheasants are high up on that list, but there's a couple of diamond mule deer racks we don't have, plenty of rares out here that we have never run into, and I think just kind of hunting in that way and not just spending all of our time chasing one animal might actually yield better results. Now, we saw the 22H Yellow Jacket as the weapon that we took our rabbit with, and as for our shotgun today, I have the camo 20 gauge, and if this pheasant ever wants to actually flush, we may get an opportunity to use it. I don't know what it was doing there, but I wanted to craft a all camo weapons loadout, and I do this all the time. I think I have this idea to do it, and then I realized there's nothing for Class 2. Class 2 and 3, really, unless I want to use buckshot, which I don't really want to do, but at least with the 22H, we do have the opportunity to take Class 2 animals using that. And, of course, the Yellow Jacket isn't exactly camo. It's kind of like a green color, so we'll take that. And then for our rifle, we have the 270 Warden, of course, so wanted to kind of switch it up a bit as we're just going to be kind of hunting casually today anyway. And who knows, maybe we can get something cool with a cool weapon. That's a kind of cool looking buck. It almost has like Deer Hunter 2005 look to it. The way those antlers just flare out, but this kind of is the fun part of having a different loadout. If you've never shot a mule deer with the 270, it's pretty underpowered for them. And of course, a long shot is all we would need, but if we can make a hard shot, we save ourselves considerable time in the tracking process, so I want to alert him again, or at least get him attentive. And hopefully he'll just do that one more time, kind of out in the open. Shot has to be a little higher up to go for heart when we are elevated. There's actually some turkeys walking out across there too. If we're going down there and if we're making the noise, we might as well try the 22H. It's 200 meters, and I've still not determined the bullet drop exactly with this. Just kind of put it a little bit high, and it did quite well. So we have a buck and a turkey to go get, and it's actually a not bad spot to run forward. So these little kind of almost meadows, that's not really the right term, but these areas that are kind of between the hills often have pheasants and coyotes and stuff in them. I don't see any at these two, but generally it's around this area anyway that I kind of move forward and try to spot anything like that. But yeah, that's one of the more unique mule deer we've ever shot. Just got like flaring out of those, I don't know if it's called a G2 still with a mule deer because of the splits. 262, that's gotta be one of the highest scoring with this rack that we've had, and of course the overall spread of 45 makes a big difference there. Kind of neat to see that. And then our turkey's not laying too far from there. Got more turkeys down in that area. It's calm, so I don't think that's the same gobbler that was with the one that we shot. But for this guy, ooh, we got unlucky there. 4.5. I would be willing to bet that's 4.59 at 10.12 kg. I mean, that's well into the weight at which they can make diamond as a level 2. So probably he's right there, just a tiny bit below. But, I mean, we've got a number of diamond Rio Grande turkeys anyway. The thing that I'd mostly be looking for in a diamond Rio Grande would be another plumage type, which we might have all the common ones by now, or just a higher scoring one. We got to see the 270 on mule deer, and for whitetail it would make a lot more sense. But even still, a single long shot with polymer tips from the 270 will require a bit of a track job, so we're going to try to heart shot this guy as well. Just kind of an average size max weight estimate buck. And as long as we didn't end up hitting a weird hitbox, that was what I would consider about the perfect shot placement, and it helps a lot when they are facing you directly. When you kind of have to deal with a quartering angle to one side or the other, it can be a lot more difficult. But as I kind of said at the beginning, we're just hunting whatever, and do we have a great reason to be hunting whitetail in multiplayer? Because of course, at the moment at least, great ones can't be taken in multiplayer. It sounds like that may change, but the one thing that I would love to get, because eventually we are going to come back to our whitetail great one grind, would be a melanistic diamond. And we've got a nice melanistic gold. I would be more than happy to just use that. But we've got our Huddle whitetail multi-mount. It's got the albino and piebald diamonds from our original great one grind. And if we could have a melanistic in there and then have two great ones fighting, that's like the ultimate dream. It's not likely to happen. We'll most likely end up using that melanistic gold, but if there's any reason to be chasing whitetail in multiplayer, I'd say that's mostly it. Well, we find ourselves back where we started, on a different server, and I was hoping that maybe we could have some pheasant success, and a minimum weight estimate pheasant is not exactly my definition of success, but it potentially could be a Trophy Lodge edition in the form of a Hall of Shame edition, or as many of you were asking for it to be called in the comments, the Hall of Small, which I think is probably a much more fitting name. But we've shot a couple of pheasants in this 0 to 1 kg weight range. Generally speaking, they go over the 1 kg point though. I think usually it's like 1.01, but I believe we did have 1.99 or something like that. So that's what I would hope to see, and I can't believe I didn't mount that last time. 0.79. Yeah, that's going into the Hall of Small for sure. That's easily the smallest one we've had. 8 trophy rating. Can't even make silver. Alright, you know, not exactly the result I was talking about at the beginning when it came down to hoping that hunting whatever's in front of us could produce good results, but it is something. There we go. Max weight colored peccary track, maybe that can lead to something. Unfortunately, 2 level 4s, both actually in that max weight range. One was dark brown and one was brown fur type. We've been fairly lucky with our javelinas. We have a ochre max score as well as a common max score, but I wouldn't mind another non-common. We've got probably 5 or 6 diamond peccaries, and minus that one ochre fur type, they've all been the common. So technically, level 4s can make it. That one went up to 145. So if they kind of scoot back through here, they're walking around out there now. I'd like to get the one with the better estimate. It's not ideal, but we can see them there. They're actually just feeding out there nervous. I think there's a clear shot straight through. We're not. We hit another one first. The spotting outline went away so fast, I don't know for sure if we got him. One hunting pressure just popped up. I would actually expect it to be him, because I don't even know where we would have hit whichever other one that we did. So maybe we're alright. In the meantime, there's another rooster pheasant to maybe check tracks of or see if it'll flush out here. Looks to me like we did get the right one. 118 though, he's at the lower end, and this is the first time I get to see this strange thing happening with the peccary fur. I do believe that it's down to the fur quality enhancements that it did with the Mississippi update. I assume that's going to get fixed, and actually that makes our lives easy. Pretty low weight pheasant, no point tracking that. We can move on to hopefully bigger and better things. I think we might have found something that we're after. A level 3 whitetail in a feed zone on Rancho del Arroyo. Who would have predicted that at the start of this hunt? We're actually going to look for mule deer. I wanted to check that because I didn't think 300 meters is right. It's about 250. Let's try to scoot in a little bit closer. It's always one of those things, and I mention it often since we started doing the montages. I love to go for hard shots, drop shots. When it comes to the montages, they look really cool, but even in the moment, making a drop shot on just about anything, hitting that small hitbox of the heart or whatever you're going for, is just a little more satisfying, especially with a weapon that I enjoy using so much like the 270 Warden. So we'll see if we can get into range, maybe 150. I don't think the hill is going to block our shot. Actually, better yet, the one color I brought today was the bleak color. because I knew it could call both mule deer and whitetail, so we should be able to get him coming our way and bring him a little closer. I think he is about as close as he's going to get. He just kind of keeps walking back and forth out there at around 80, so standing still. We can make that drop shot with the 270 Warden. Honestly, that's about the last thing I would have expected we'd do today, and I don't know if that control, he is so narrow he's going to lose a lot of spread credit. Not only overall spread, but tip-to-tip spread, so in theory this will be a pretty low-scoring big rack whitetail, but I would expect the circumferences and tine length to make up for that a bit. 260.3 diamond, and he's actually uneven as well. We have one kind of similar to this in the lodge already. I really like this rack with like the more rounded tines. I just think it's a little more realistic than the super sharp tines on that other side, but that is definitely one to send to the lodge. I don't know necessarily if it'll go in the main lodge or not. We'll have to look and see, because we took down a lot of whitetail in the last year, almost even going to 2 years, since we shot our great one and got all the diamonds on that run. But it's cool to get another one, and again, like I said, going back to the beginning of the hunt, just hunting whatever's active. We're not really chasing whitetail, but in route to looking for mule deer, there's a diamond whitetail just out here feeding. Man, it looks like we would have been good regardless of what deer we would have gone after, although of course the whitetail made diamond, whereas these were just going to be nice gold mule deer. But we can try to get that one again using the 270. I think we should scoot in a bit closer. I'll call this about as good as we're going to get. If we can try to get the shot when his head's up, kind of like the whitetail, that would be ideal. So with that opportunity, we can make that hard shot. Man, the 270 has performed for us today, and of course it is all down to shot placement, but I think every time that we've attempted a drop shot has landed. That's pretty cool. And I think a slightly different rack. This one's kind of got the, again, I'm not sure, G2s with stickers more so than the forks. But with a Hall of Shame pheasant and a diamond whitetail, I think it's time to head back to the trophy lodge. I decided that our new diamond whitetail was going to have to go in the second lodge today. I just don't have anything I can really replace in the main lodge, but it fits quite nicely here next to a multi-mount of what were all piebald whitetail. Of course, now melanistic. For those of you that were not aware, for a while after the release of Rancho, we were warned that fur types might change for species that were not new. So whitetail, coyotes, I think mule deer and bighorn potentially as well, and a lot of them did. So these were all piebald attacks that Kyla shot when she was visiting back in July, and kind of nice. They were all Rancho kills, and we have a diamond off of Rancho now in the same room. But of course, the Hall of Small pheasant will have to go into that lodge another day. It's just a scoring pheasant, so we won't head over to that other lodge. But anyway, I think that officially is going to do it for this video. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.